Mode.
Good evening, everyone. This is Matt Lloyd. I'm calling in from Cabo San Lucas in Mexico. It's great to have you guys on the line. I'm going to go ahead and just share my screen and just so you guys can see what's going on my end. Guys, before we get started, I just want to do a quick sound check. If you can hear me okay, do me a favor and click on that little yellow hand icon that you see on your GoToWebinar control panel there. Just let me know if the audio is coming through loud and clear. All right, excellent, looking good. Okay, now you guys should also be able to see my screen, and what I'm showing you here, this is the GoToWebinar admin back office. You can see we have 1,137 people who've registered for this webinar. Right now we have about 200 here, so there's another 800 still coming. Guys, it's great to have you on the line. I do appreciate the fact that some of you are calling in from all around the world, and it's some ridiculous hour for some of you. Some of you are here at 2 a.m., so that's great. I'm going to get straight to the point. Let's get right into it. The webinar tonight is really all about buying back some time for you guys. It's really what it's about at the end of the day. If you're here on this webinar, I told you in the email promotion, I said this is not for someone who's already making a lot of money online or someone who's started making regular sales. This is for the person who you've been at this for a little while, but you're still not getting really any sales coming in. Maybe you've had one or two, but it's just not consistent. Or you've been at this for a little bit longer and you still don't have any results to show. Okay? And I can see the comments as well. By the way, guys, if you have any questions, I will be answering them at the end. Okay, so if you type them in, I'll get to them at the end. Now, for those of you who don't know me, and I imagine most of you do know me because you are very likely on my list. Again, my name's Matt Lloyd. I'm 26 years old. I'm from Perth, Australia. If you're wondering what I'm doing in Mexico, tonight's my last night here. I've been here at this resort for about a month now. We just got done hosting our Titanium Mastermind here a few weeks ago. We had about 200 people fly in from all around the world, and I had a 3-week in-depth coaching program with 3 private clients here. So I've just been working with them for the past 3 weeks, and I'm going to San Diego tomorrow to start getting ready for our Home Business Summit. Okay, the Home Business Summit, that's one of our bigger events, and that will be on November 1st to 3rd. So if you're in San Diego, make sure you come on down and check that out. Anyway, getting back to who I am. So I've been doing this for 5 years now, and I've had some success with it. Okay, you could say that. In my first few years, I was like, I imagine many of you on this call right now, I spent 9 months working full-time doing this before I got my first sale. Okay, and when I say 9 months full-time, I mean 12-hour days, 7 days a week. I dropped out of university. I was 4 years into a degree. I put that on hold, and I never went back and finished it. And I just started doing this full-time. I invested $38,000 out of my own savings into a high-ticket business opportunity. That was early 2009, and I thought I was going to make millions. And like I said, 9 months later, I had not made a single sale. Finally, I got my first sale, and the sales in the beginning, I remember getting that first sale, $1,000 commission, and I remember just being ecstatic about it, running around the house in the morning because I woke up to get an email saying I'd made my first sale. I was just over the moon about it. Okay, then I didn't get my next sale for maybe 3 or 4 weeks after that. And then I got my next one, again, maybe a month later. But slowly, they started to get a little bit more consistent. Then I started doing my own products, my own systems, everything like that. And we went from not much at all to well over $1 million a month in revenue today. Now, the reason why I tell you that is I've been around in this industry. Internet marketing years are kind of like dog years. You know how they say dog years? If a dog is 10 years old, in dog years it's like 70 years. Well, internet marketing is kind of the same. And doing this day in and day out, I can definitely tell you there's some things that had I known them when I started, I would have got into profit much faster without all the headaches and messing around. And that's what this webinar is really all about. That's what I want for you. Now, I'm going to be completely transparent with you and tell you that there is going to be an offer at the end for the Home Business Summit. I would like you to come to the Home Business Summit. Again, it's November 1st to 3rd. But even if you don't come, you're still going to get a lot of value out of this webinar. Okay, so let's get right into it. All right, what are we going to be talking about? I want to talk about your own psychology, you as the business owner, because this is really everything. Okay, this is really where it all begins. You can be shown all the latest tactics and strategies, but without getting your mindset, the way you think about your business, without getting that part right, nothing else matters. Okay, I've seen people come into this industry, and I've seen this so many times. Two people come in, both of them are clueless about internet marketing. 1 year later, one of them has done over $100,000 in sales, the other one has made nothing. How is that possible? How is it possible that two people of equal intelligence, similar backgrounds, can get into the industry and they're on a level playing field, and one of them goes on to have massive results and the other not? That's because of what's going on in their head. Okay, that's really what it is. And if you don't get this part of your business right, then you're not going to do well. The way I think about my business now, today, is vastly different than it used to be 3 or 4 years ago when I was making practically nothing. Okay, it's not uncommon for us to have $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 days now in internal revenue. What I want to talk about tonight is really how does that happen? How do you think at that level that brings in those kind of numbers, and how is it different from how the typical person thinks, which keeps them stuck where they are making virtually nothing? What is and is not important in your business? Most of what you're currently doing right now, if you're still struggling, most of it's not really that important, and it's a waste of your time. And I want to tell you what is important and what you should stop doing, what you should ignore, what you need to do right now to get into profit. So if you want to know what's the fastest way to build a name for yourself and start making sales, I'm going to show you. I'm actually going to go and show you live in person on this webinar exactly what you need to do. Power of live events and creating connections with your peers. I want to talk about that for a second, because one of the bigger turning points for my business was when I made the decision to get on a plane and go to my first big live internet marketing event. That was from Perth, Australia to Las Vegas, and I made that decision with about 2 weeks before the event. I got the plane ticket, flew 35 hours including stopovers at airports to get to this event, and something changed, and I want to talk about that. Getting promoted by a guru and launched to the masses. This is how, if you want to start doing big numbers fast, this is probably my favorite strategy. And this is really what I did. I found someone who was doing millions of dollars when I really had done virtually nothing. I mean, I'd done very little. And I was able to get that person to launch me to their following, to a lot of people. So I want to talk about how I did that. And then, of course, I want to talk about the Home Business Summit. So let's get into it. All right. Let's go. So first of all, treating this like a real business versus a hobby. This is a real business. Common sense, right? You've heard that before. But no one's probably ever really stressed that to you the way they should. When you get into internet marketing, chances are you see an ad, and the ad says something like, hey, make $5,000 a day sitting at home in your underwear. Working 30 minutes a day, or something like that, and you respond to that ad because you think, wow, that sounds really nice. What people do in internet marketing is they're selling the lifestyle, and they're selling what this business can be, but the reality is very rarely is it anything like that. Okay, very rarely is it like that at all. If you want to get to the 7-figure level and above and beyond, you are going to have to work for it. and you are going to have to treat this like a real business, just as if it was a real bricks and mortar business. Imagine if you were to invest in a franchise. Let's say you were to buy a McDonald's, whatever that costs these days. Maybe it's hundreds of thousands of dollars. Okay, what you're doing is you're investing into a system, like many of these online systems you see. Like, for example, My Top Tier Business. That's a system we offer at Mob. That's a system. You invest in that system, and yes, they do a lot of the work for you. Okay, they certainly do. They have systems that you can follow. But at the same time, you've got to be there checking what's coming in, what's going out. You've got staff, you've got the long hours, etc., etc. Someone who invests in a McDonald's franchise, they're going to have to be very committed to making that business work for it to start making them a lot of money. It's the exact same with an online business. This whole idea that you can make a full-time income working 15 or 20 minutes a day, it's just not true. Okay, at a bare minimum, guys, if you want to get this up and running and start making a full-time income online, you need at a bare minimum 1 hour a day, bare minimum. Now, if you want to start making big numbers, if you want to get to over $100,000 a month above and beyond, that's full-time. Okay, that's 8, 10, 12 hours a day, more in some cases. That's just the truth. That's how it is. Now, I want you to look at what are you currently doing right now with your internet marketing business. I want you to take out a pen and a piece of paper and write down what kind of time commitment are you putting into your business right now. When you sit down at that computer, what exactly do you do? Do you go to your email inbox and start opening emails from all the different marketers, watching videos about the latest launch? Do you go to Facebook and have 5 or 10 different messages and start responding to those? Do you find yourself on YouTube? Because that is not running a business. Okay, that's you mistaking movement for action, being busy for being productive. The key activity that you need to be focusing on is what brings in the money. What brings in the money right now? In other words, revenue producing activities. That's the biggest difference between me now, today, and me 3 or 4 years ago when I was struggling. Okay, because back then, let me just paint this picture for you. Back then, when I got started, my typical workday consisted of me going onto my computer and opening my email inbox, and straight away I would get sucked into whatever the latest launch was, and it was incredibly enticing. Okay, and I would go and buy this product or that product. Then I might spend a few hours watching an info product. Now, I'm all for learning, but there's a time when you need to be doing, and there's a time when you need to be learning. Back then, I would spend maybe 85% of my time learning. Now it's the complete opposite. I spend maybe 10 or 15% of my time learning, but most of the time that I sit down at my computer these days, I'm just focused on producing, getting the important things done. What is going to bring in the revenue? That's what I focus on these days. Okay? And the way that you get that to the next level, you find out, okay, what brings in the revenue? You do those activities, you get some revenue coming in, and then you think, okay, how do I duplicate this process? How do I set up a system around this process so it can operate independently of me being there? I hope that makes sense. So in the beginning, for example, when I was building up Mob, I used to do all the phone calls. Okay, I used to be the one who, when someone would buy a product, I would actually call you back for a 30-minute consult, and at the end of that consult, I would offer something like the Mob License Rights Program. Okay, that's our main program, and I would offer that on the phone. And I thought, great, that's a $2,000 sale. And I would start getting more and more of those each month. Okay, and that's how we started hitting $50,000 a month and above and beyond. And I thought, well, that's good, but at the same time, there's a limit to this because I only have so many hours in a day. How can I create a system around this process that operates independently of whether I'm there or not? And that's when I started to build a phone team, okay, where I would hire people to sell on the phone for me, and I would pay them on pure commission. And I started setting up systems so that the leads would be funneled to them. They would call back the leads, I could monitor their numbers, and they would do that whether I was there or not. And now the reality today is very different. I go to sleep here in Mexico. I go to sleep when it's morning or midday in Australia. I wake up and we brought in a lot of sales. Why? Because we have reps in Australia making phone calls and getting sales. Do you see how that works? Do you see the difference there? Okay, so the first thing to do is focus on what is going to bring in the revenue right now. Focus on that activity. Once you've got the revenue coming in, then the next level is how do I create a system around that process so it works whether I'm there or not. Okay? Anyway, let's move on. The attitude, gun to your head. This is a big one. So I remember this would have been in 2009, and I'm struggling. Okay, I'm really struggling in this business. I'm not getting sales. I'm hearing about all these people making a lot of money online, but I had almost stopped believing in it. I mean, I believed that it was possible for them, but I'd started to doubt myself because I just couldn't get results. And I remember listening to a recording, some info product I'd brought, and I don't even remember who it was, but they told this story of what would you as the entrepreneur do if you had a gun to your head and you literally had to make sales, within a certain time frame, or that trigger was getting pulled. What would you do? Okay, how would what you do differ to what you're currently doing on a day-to-day basis? That's the question I'd like to offer you right now. Okay, right now, this second, if your life depended on you making $5,000 in the next 7 days online, what would you do? I want you to think about that for a second. What exactly would you do? Would you sit down at your computer and start going through emails? No, of course you wouldn't. You would just be racking your brains and thinking of, okay, what can I do right now that's going to bring in that $5,000? What can I do right now? Then you would go and do it because your life would depend on it. Okay, now when I heard that, it was just like an eye-opening moment because I thought, how would I do things differently if my life literally depended on me getting results? First of all, I would get out of this knowledge acquisition mode, always wanting to learn more stuff, and I would start focusing on doing. But I wouldn't be doing all the activities. I would just be doing the activities that are going to bring in revenue right now. Okay? That's what I would be doing differently. And then I started doing those things, and lo and behold, I started getting my first few sales. Now, something magical happened when you get those first few sales. I can tell you right now, you're sitting there listening to my voice, and I can tell you, I'm just going to pick someone out of the crowd. Bill Rayner. Okay, Bill Rayner, someone I see on the call. Bill, I can tell you, Bill, what it's like to make $10,000 in a week. I can tell you that all day. Okay, and you think, okay, well, that would be nice. But until you've actually done it and experienced it in your bones, you've actually experienced it for yourself, it's almost like you can't fully appreciate it. You can't fully understand it. That's why it's so critical that you go and get those first few sales and you go and get those commissions in your pocket, because then this becomes a lot more real. Okay, it becomes a lot more real, and you think, hey, I just took action A and I got result B. I made some commissions. I know I can take more of action A. Okay, and then you go and take more of action A and you get more sales. This sounds very simplistic, doesn't it? But that's how it is. That's the truth. That's why it's so critical that, especially early on, you get those first few sales coming in as early as you can, because it's just a real confidence booster. I'm very confident in my ability to make money online right now. Why? Because I look at the reality. I've got money coming in, so I know I can do it. 3 or 4 years ago, though, I wasn't even 1/10 as confident that I could make money online because I'd got very limited results. So whatever you have to do right now to get those first few commissions coming in, I don't care if they're $10 commissions or $50 commissions. They don't have to be, $5,000 commissions. Whatever it is, though, you take those actions that will bring in those commissions right now, then this becomes your reality. Get comfortable with things being messy. This is something that I wish someone had told me in the beginning. So I get into this industry, and my life experience at the point I'm 22. So what do I know? I mean, really, what do I know? I don't have a whole lot of real world experience. I've been in high school and I've been in university for 4 years. I haven't really been out in the real world. What I've been doing, my life experience up until that point, has been in a classroom, reading a textbook and then doing a test. So that's my whole life experience. If I want to try and master a skill, the answer is go and get a textbook and study it. That's my life experience. So when I get into internet marketing, what do you think I do? I go and do the exact same thing. I remember 2009. I remember this would have been about February or March. I'd been dabbling in internet marketing up until that point for a few months. I'd invested $2,000 before. And I made the decision to put university on hold. That was a big decision, because it was like I was saying, I'm now going down a different path. Rather than going into, finance, getting a career in finance, I'm now going to put that on hold, and I'm going to focus on this online business. So now my commitment level just went up by a lot. And I thought, okay, time to get serious. What's the first thing I'm going to do? Well, I got on a bus. I went into the city centre of Perth, where I live. I went into a bookstore, and I put about $500 worth on my credit card, on my Visa credit card, worth of books. Okay, and these books they were about all kinds of different things about internet marketing. I remember one of these books, it was called the Social Media Bible, and it was literally as thick as a dictionary of all of these social media sites. I brought books on analytics. I brought books on building WordPress sites. My answer was, now I'm going to study these books, and I'm going to learn everything I need to know about internet marketing. Once I've learned everything I need to know, then I'm going to go and take action. Now, what do you think happened? I spent months, many months, stuck in this learning, this knowledge acquisition mode, because I still am to this day. I'm a bit of a perfectionist. Okay, I don't like when things are messy. I like to go into something having the answers. Okay, I don't like trying to learn something through doing. Okay, because if I feel like I don't know what I'm doing, that usually makes me quite uncomfortable. So of course, when I was trying to learn internet marketing, I wanted to get all the answers. Many of you are likely doing that right now. Okay, you're buying course after course because you don't feel like you're ready yet. Now here's the piece of advice that I wish someone had told me when I got started. The truth is, you will never feel like you're ready. Okay, you will never feel like you're ready. Doing this webinar, 5 minutes before this webinar, before I'm speaking these words to you now, I did not feel like I was ready. The difference is today, I'm okay with putting myself in situations where I'm not 100% ready, because everything will always work out in the end. So my advice to you is get comfortable with things being messy. When I say messy, for example, if you go and do paid traffic right now, let's say you decide to take $500 and you decide to invest all of that in some advertisements, Facebook pay-per-click traffic, and you decide to send that to a high converting offer. How many of you would be comfortable doing that right now? In fact, let me get a show of hands. I'm going to put everyone's hands down. I can see we've got 330 people on the line right now. If I said to you guys tonight, before you go to sleep tonight, how many of you would be comfortable with going and setting up a Facebook pay-per-click campaign, driving some pay-per-click traffic to a high converting offer so you can get sales? Who would feel comfortable in doing that? Who would feel like they know what they're doing? All right, now I'm scrolling through the names here. I can see maybe 5% of people putting up their hands. That's it, 5%. Most people aren't going to be that comfortable with it, especially if you've never done it before. Here's the piece of $1 million advice though. If you let that feeling of being uncomfortable stop you from taking action, chances are you're not going to do very well in this industry, or in any business for that matter. That's just the truth. So all of you, at least 90% of you on this webinar right now, by not putting up your hand, you're telling me that you feel a little bit uncomfortable with going and placing some pay-per-click traffic ads right now because you don't feel like you know what you're doing. And I'm telling you, in order to start getting results, in order to start getting sales coming in, you've got to get over that and you've got to just go and do it. Just go and do it. Even if you don't have all the answers, just go and do it. In a little bit, I'm going to show you exactly how to go and do it. And then my test for you tonight, my challenge to you tonight, is to go and place your first pay-per-click ads before you sleep tonight. It will take you maybe 10 minutes to do. Now, most of you on this call aren't going to do it. You're going to listen to me and you're going to think, well, that's nice, Matt. I'm glad you told me that. But then you're going to go to bed. But a few of you, okay, a few of you will go and do it, and things will change for you after, just from that small mere act of going and doing. But the emphasis always needs to be on the doing. Some of this stuff, in fact, a lot of this stuff probably sounds like common sense, but I'm telling you, this is what made all the difference for me. Right now, the way I run my business is I just go and do. Things are messy. Very rarely do we execute things and have them perfect. But if we waited for everything to be perfect, nothing would get done. Moab would be 1/10 the size it is today. Okay, so I go and do things even if they're not 100% ready. Yes, we do make mistakes. Yes, things are a little bit messy, but we clean them up as we go. If I want to launch something online, if I want to launch a new product that I'm selling, let me walk you through the process. Okay, let me tell you how I used to do things. In the beginning, if I wanted to launch a new product online, I would go and write the sales letter or find someone to write the sales letter, and that might take a month. Okay, then I would try and upload it online, and then I would go and spend another month getting graphics done, and I would go and plan out the entire thing, and 6 months later, very little would have been done. These days, I'll pay a copywriter to write the sales letter, I'll throw it up, we won't worry about making it look perfect yet, and I'll just launch it to my list. I'll just say, hey, you want to check out this, and some people will buy it. And then we will refine it as we go. I will refine it because now there's some accountability. Now this is a live website that real people are going to, and it's not fully done, and that makes me uncomfortable. So I want to go and get it fully done. But the point is, I get the process started before the end product is 100% ready, because that speeds the entire thing up. Okay, it speeds it up. If I have a live event, for example, if I have a live event that I'm doing, I will start selling tickets to that live event long before I'm ready. But as that deadline approaches, that forces me to now get things ready. Do you see the difference there? That's how I do things today. That's how you need to start doing things in your own online business. Get comfortable with things being messy. Perfection, wanting everything to be perfect, that will keep you in poverty. Perfection equals poverty, because you just won't get enough done. Now, what is and is not important? Okay, here's a very common mistake, and a lot of you are likely doing this right now. You are continually buying solutions to problems you never really had in the first place. Or you're buying as an opportunity seeker. Okay, you're buying things because of the promise of all the upside gains. And before you can implement that, you're on to the next solution. Okay, so think about, what was the last product you bought? That's a question I'd like you to answer. What was the last internet marketing product you bought? And what was the one before that? And before that? How many of those have you actually implemented? Be honest with yourself. How many of those have you actually gone and implemented? Are you stuck in this mode of continually buying all of these solutions when you're not even implementing the ones you got in the first place? A lot of people are. Now here's really how to tell. I'm not saying that you shouldn't buy things at all, because I buy things all the time myself. I buy lots and lots of info products. I go to lots of live events, and very rarely do I implement everything from product A before I go and buy product B. because my philosophy is if I get just one single idea out of that product, it's worth it. Okay, but here's how I tell what I should and shouldn't be buying in the first place, and that's with this whole idea or this whole theory of constraints. Who's ever heard of theory of constraints? Who's heard of that? Okay, theory of constraints. Basically, your online business is a system. Okay, your body is a system. Okay, the human body is a system. A business is a system. There are lots of systems. Okay, now in every single system, the one thing that all systems have in common is there is one single part of that system that is keeping the current level of output where it currently is. Okay, now the whole point of the system is to take the inputs and turn them into outputs. So for example, an online business, what are the inputs? The inputs are usually traffic. If I send $100 of traffic to my online business, the output that I'm trying to get is maybe $200 in revenue, right? That's what it is. So you put money into advertising and the output is revenue. Or the human body, what's the whole goal of the human body? Okay, the human body usually is to live. That's the whole, that's the output. So we take the inputs, oxygen, food, nutrition, water, and we want to turn that into life. We want to survive, we want to live, we want to flourish. Okay, that's the output. Now what all systems have in common, like I said, there's one part of that system holding it back from reaching a new level of output. So if you are currently making $1,000 per month online, there is one part of the system, one part of your online business that is preventing you from getting to the next level, which might be $2,000 per month online. Now what you need to do is you need to continually be identifying what is that one thing holding the system back. You eliminate that or you improve it, you remove it, and then you watch your revenue go up. Okay, so for example, January of 2012, total revenue was a little bit over $81,000 for Moban that month. After refunds, it was, I remember it clearly because after refunds, it was exactly $79,999.61, something like that. I remember being like thinking, damn it, I wish that had just been over 80. But I remember that month very clearly, right? I was very excited by that because I'd never made that kind of money online before. But the system at the time consisted of me doing all the phone calls, all the sales calls for my own leads. So what was the constraint? Someone, if you know the answer, type it in. What was the constraint in that system? Okay, what was the one thing holding me back, holding my business back from getting to the next level? Sigrid and Nikki, oh, lots of people. You, everyone's typing in you or your time. So yeah, it was my time, right? It was my time. Someone typed in fear. It wasn't really fear. It was really just time. I had only so many hours in a day. I remember I usually sleep in, but I would wake up maybe 10 a.m., 11 a.m. That's usually when I wake up, and straight away I would usually start calling back my leads. Because back then my funnel was they would pay $97 for the inner circle, and they would get a 30-minute consult with me. Okay, or actually I think it might have even been 1 hour, and I would give them value for an hour, and then at the end I would ask them if they wanted to become a Mob licensee. And over time I developed a sales script and everything like that. So I would be doing those calls, and I could only do maybe 4 or 5 of those 1-hour calls in a day, because besides that I had to do all the customer support, I had to do, I was the tech team. I mean the entire business was essentially me. So the constraint was my time. So I knew that if I could remove that one constraint, I could make more money. Now unfortunately I haven't yet figured out a way to invent more time. But I did know that I could hire someone to do those things for me. Okay, now the downside of that is if I hired someone to sell for me, I would have to pay them a commission, and they wouldn't be as good as me. Okay, because of course, if someone buys a Mob product, and then they get to talk to the owner of Mo, they're going to be much more receptive to buying than if they're talking to a stranger. Okay, so I had those were the two downsides, and so I put the decision of hiring someone off for a long time, stupidly, because I thought, well, I don't really want to be paying commissions, it's less money for me, and my conversions are going to go down. But after a while, I just realized, look, this is not sustainable, and if the business is going to grow, I'm going to have to accept that I'm going to have to take on these additional expenses. Now, of course, I was essentially buying back more time, right? So yes, I did have more expenses. I had to pay commissions, but it freed up my time. So I did. I went and hired that person, and it was one of the most freeing experiences of the business, because now I had an extra 4 or 5 hours per day. And I thought, okay, great. Now I can use that time to funnel more leads into the system. And after that month, we went backwards. February, we went down to 65,000 from 80. We went backwards. You know why? Because sometimes to move 2 steps forward, you've got to take 1 step backwards. So of course, when I bring someone on board, I've got to train them. Conversions went down a little bit, and the monthly revenue went down. But the month after that, March, we went up to about 125,000 or 150,000, something like that. Because now I had a lot more time. Okay, so I removed the constraint in the business. Our revenue went up. Now I'm going to ask you, what is the one thing that's constraining your system, your business right now? What's holding you back right now? For most of you, it's going to be you not spending enough time on revenue producing activities. That's the big constraint. That's why I tell you, you've got to get those first few sales coming in. Just for that, psychologically, it just changes everything once you've got those first few sales. Once you've got those first few sales, though, how do you get more sales? What's holding you back? It's likely going to be your current level of traffic. If you spend $200 in a week and you get $400 in revenue, well, why can't you just go and spend $400 the next week on traffic and get back, $600 in revenue? It sounds so simple, but that's really all it is. Okay, so another constraint for many of you is that you're not allocating enough of a traffic budget towards advertising. In fact, many of you, I would almost guarantee this, of however many people we have right now, we've got 341 people on the line. I will bet that more than half the people on this call right now aren't actively doing paid traffic. Many of you, you're either still in learning mode, okay, you still want to figure out all the answers before you go and take action, which is a very bad idea, or you want to do free traffic, what you think is free traffic. And that's also an extremely bad idea. My advice to you is get straight into doing paid traffic. Do not go down the path of wanting to do just free traffic, because it's not really free. It's your time, and it's very slow. And like I said, you've got to treat this like a real business, and real businesses have advertising costs. Okay, that's just how it is. So anyway, getting back to my original point, when it comes to buying products, look at the theory of constraints. If the one thing holding you back right now is a lack of traffic, then it makes sense for you to buy a product on traffic. It doesn't make sense for you to go and buy a product on how to build a WordPress blog. Okay, because you having a blog is not the constraining part right now. The constraining part is a lack of traffic. So this is how you tell what you should be investing in and what you shouldn't be investing in. First things first. Okay, so this is really what you came here for. How do we start making money right now? So this is the path that I would recommend to you, and this is after 5 years of experience seeing a lot of people come and go in this industry. This is what I would do if I had to start over again. Number one, if I was brand new to internet marketing, I would not go and try and create my own products. I would not go and create my own lead capture pages. In fact, I wouldn't even start building my own list in the beginning. You know why? Because if I want to be in the internet marketing niche and I want to be teaching people about internet marketing, I would kind of like to have some results before I go and start teaching them. So what I would do is I would learn and I would get relatively good at the first skill in internet marketing, and that is traffic. I would start sending traffic directly to someone else's offer. Okay, so when I say someone else's offer, I mean you become an affiliate for them and you just send paid traffic, not free traffic. Don't do free traffic, you do paid traffic. Okay, take my advice. Do paid traffic, send paid traffic directly to their offer. So you might go and buy 500 clicks. Okay, you send 500 clicks of targeted traffic to the offer. And then you look at your results. Okay, now if you're sending targeted traffic and it's to a high converting offer, meaning, if you put people in front of it, someone going to buy, then it's kind of hard for you not to get sales. Okay, now if you don't know what targeted traffic means, when I say targeted, I mean just matching up the traffic for the offer. So if you're promoting an offer and the offer is how to grow better rose bushes, okay, and it's an ebook about how to grow a rose bush, and it's for the target audience is 65-year-old ladies who've retired who want to grow roses in their garden. Okay, let's say that's the offer, and you go and start promoting that to young aspiring internet marketers. Doesn't matter how much traffic you send, you're not going to get sales, right? Because it's the wrong message to market match. So you've got to make sure that the traffic you're sending is actually traffic that they're seeking the solution that you're offering, or they have a problem which your product that you're promoting solves. Okay, that's what I mean. But that's the very first thing I would do. So I would go and find someone else's system, someone else's product, I would become an affiliate, and I would just start sending paid traffic. And within 1 week, I would be getting sales. Okay, I'd be getting sales, I would be making commissions. And now guess what? Now you've got a result. Now you've made your first, whatever it is, $200 online. Great, now you've got a result. And you get some confidence from that too, because you think, wow, this actually worked. Now, I wouldn't worry too much about whether I'm profitable or not. Obviously, I would like to not lose money. But if I went and spent $400 on ads and I got back $200 in revenue, knowing what I know now, I would be extremely happy with that. Now, some people are surprised to hear that. It's funny, like when I see people get started and I coach them, and I tell them, go and do this, and they go and get sales and they lose a bit of money and then they're really upset about that. I don't laugh, but I'm kind of amused by it, because I tell them, well, look, yes, you did lose a little bit of money, but you learned how to get sales. Now, making an online business profitable that's already getting sales, it's quite easy. It's just a matter of adding in a back end. When I say a back end, adding in the next product for that customer to buy, which might be priced at 10 times. Okay, so turning a business that's already getting steady sales into a profitable business is actually very easy to do. That's why I tell you, don't get too obsessed about making big profits in the beginning. Just try and get a few sales under your belt. Okay, now after I'd done that, then I would start to build my own list. Okay, and the way that I would do that is I would create a simple lead capture page, and I would use something like leadpages.net. That's not an affiliate link, but that's a great service. I would create a lead capture page. And if I didn't know how to use leadpages.net, which a lot of you maybe don't, I would take 15 minutes to learn. I'd go to YouTube and find out how. I wouldn't let small things like that stop me. Okay, so now I've created my own lead capture page, and I would make an offer. I would say, hey, give me your email address and I'll show you how to make 1K, 3K and 5K commissions. Okay, now some of you might recognize that offer. That's for my top tier business. My top tier business is an offer that you can promote. Okay, it's a 21-step system product that you can promote as an affiliate. So my lead capture page would be about the offer. The offer is get 1K, 3K and 5K commissions without picking up the phone. That's what I would say on the lead capture page. Now they would opt in and I would take them right to the offer. So what I'm doing now is I'm building a list. I'm building a list of email addresses. And then I would start sending emails daily. Now I wouldn't stuff around with trying to, create 10-day follow-up sequences that offer a ton of value, and then only on day 11 do I attempt to sell that person. I wouldn't stuff around with that. I would get straight to doing the offer in my email. So on day 1, I'd send out an email and I'd say, hey, it's Matt Lloyd here. Look, you opted into my list the other day and I told you that I would show you how to get this result. Here's exactly how. Go here. And then what I would also do is I would encourage them to reach out to me. I would leave my phone number. I would leave my Facebook profile link so they could contact me. Now for every 1,000 leads that I got, maybe only 10 or 20 of them would actually contact me, but those ones that did contact me, then I would engage them one-on-one and I would sell to them. Okay, I would tell them about why they need to get this product. Okay, I'd ask them a few questions first, find out if they really do need it, but once I had established that it's going to help them, yes, I would shamelessly promote it to them and I would get more commissions. So now by this stage I would be making maybe $500 a week, okay, maybe $1,000 a week. If I'm promoting my top tier business, the beauty about that system is that the MOB phone team would be following up with your leads and getting you much bigger commissions as well. Okay, now after I'd built up a bit of a name for myself and I'd started getting steady commissions, only then would I start creating my own products, doing those kind of things. The reason why I'm telling you this is I see people who get started and haven't even got their first few sales yet, and they're talking about creating products. And I'm thinking, well, look, if you want to create products around internet marketing, go and get some results first. Go and get some credibility. Go and get some results so you can actually teach from experience. But that's the order that I would do things in. Okay, so note the order. Send paid traffic to someone else's offer until you get some results. After that, after you've got the results, start building your own list. Okay, continue to promote that program, and then only after you've done all of that and you're getting steady results and you feel like you're in a place to teach, do you then go and create products. That's the order to do things in. Targets, having targets. Very few people have targets. This is everything. So mid-2011, that's when I started getting some decent results. Okay, and at the end of 2011, that's when I started making more than $10,000 a month and above and beyond. But around mid-2011, I started doing something I'd never done before. I started looking at my sales numbers. Now, I hadn't done it before because I felt like, well, I don't have a lot of sales to look at. So what's the point? What's the point in looking at these numbers if it's only, a few $100s here and there? But then I decided, well, let me try and beat my previous monthly record. Now, it wasn't that hard at the time because, I wasn't making a lot. In a typical month, it was maybe a few $1,000s at most. But my new goal became, can I beat that previous monthly record? And everything became about that. So if I made $2,000 in a month, the very next month, my goal was just to make more than $2,000 in that month. And what you will find, guys, is that when you do this, it gives you clarity. Have you ever sat down at your computer and you've just watched 4 or 5 hours go by, and at the end of it you almost have a headache because you've been clicking around and there's so much opportunity in front of you and there's so many things that you can be doing, and you also just start to feel overwhelmed by it because you think, what can I possibly do? Which thing should I do first? Have you ever felt like that? What you will find is that when you have a target in mind, okay, when you have something that you're striving for, like beating your previous monthly target, then you've got clarity. Okay, then you've got clarity. So the goal now became, okay, I want to beat $2,000 in a month. I want to make $3,000 this next month. Okay, and I actually went and did it. And then I got to $3,000 a month and I thought, okay, I'm going to try and beat that target. And then I did it again and again and again. That's even to this day, that's what I continue to do. every single day I look at our monthly sales so far. Okay, so like today, for example, I was looking at where we are in this month right now. Now, what is the date today? It is looks like the 24th. As of today, we have beat our previous monthly income or revenue record, which was last month. Okay, we beat that number, which is great, and I feel very good about that. We didn't beat that number by accident, though. We beat it because I'm consciously focusing on that number. Okay, I'm focusing on how do we surpass that number. That's what I want all of you to start doing right now. Even if let's say your monthly record is $100. Great. Try and make $200 this month. Now, if you made nothing before, then your monthly record is 0. Great. Okay, so your whole goal is just to make more than 0. Just get one single $50 commission and then celebrate because you beat your previous record. I'm telling you, if this is how you now start to approach your business, you get that clarity. Okay, you now know what's important. Revenue producing activities. And if you're always thinking about that target and how you can beat it, it's like this whole unconscious process that leads you towards achieving that goal. It just happens. Now, $100,000 in the next 12 months. Who would like to be able to do that? Just by show of hands. Who would like to? Now, some of you maybe you're thinking much bigger than that. But I'm going to tell you, look, if you're starting out and you're yet to even make your first few sales, don't focus on making millions of dollars a year yet. Focus first on getting to your first $100,000 year. Okay, that's what you need to be focusing on. Once you establish that target, then you've got to work backwards and come up with a plan. So $100,000 in the next 12 months. Let's work this out together. Someone with a calculator, do me a favor and type in $100,000 divided by 12 months. How much is that per month? Someone type in the answer, whoever gets it first. Okay, Nelson has just typed in. It's $8,333. Okay, now I want you to take that number and divide that by 30. Okay, let's work out roughly what is that per day. $8,333 divided by 30. Okay, it's about $277. $277. Okay, so that's what we've got to be making per day. Now we have a specific number. Okay, now you're not going to be working 24 hours per day, of course. Let's say that you're willing to put in, let's say you're really serious about this, and you're willing to put in 8 hours per day. What is $277 divided by 8? Someone type that in. Virgil said it's $35. Okay, yeah, it's $35. $35 per hour. $35 per hour will get you to $100,000 a year. I mean, that's nothing. That's really nothing at all. Okay, but see how we break it down, and now we have an hourly target. So when you sit down at your computer and you're working on your business, you've got to ask yourself the question, is this activity worth at least $35 per hour, bare minimum? If it's not, stop doing it. Okay, if you're manually entering data into a spreadsheet, you can outsource that for $2 per hour. That's not a $35 per hour activity. Okay, but break it down, and then you've got to put in place a plan. You've got to put in place a plan as to how you're going to reach those targets. That's exactly what we're doing at the Home Business Summit. Okay, the Home Business Summit. And guys, I'm going to keep on going. I've got a lot more content for you after this, but I just want to stop and tell you about this. The Home Business Summit, November 1st to the 3rd. Okay, so you basically arrive at the Hyatt in San Diego on Friday. Okay, and we have a reception that night. Really, it's a 2-day event. Okay, so it's Saturday the 2nd of November and Sunday the 3rd of November. All day for both of those days. And also the Friday night. You want to come in and just meet everyone. Come and meet me. But that's what the entire event is about. How to get you to $100,000 in the next 12 months. Anyway, the reason why you need to have these targets, let me tell you a quick little story here. So in mid-2012, Mob surpassed its first $1 million in revenue total. Okay, total revenue, gross revenue, $1 million. And I remember I was in San Diego at the time. I was staying in this little motel room. I was over there for another event I was doing, and we surpassed $1 million in total revenue. And I thought, great, that's really good. And then I started to think to myself, and I started to think, well, okay, it's mid to late 2012. How far can I take this by the end of 2013? Now, about a week later, I was to do my second live event. So when I did that second live event and I was bringing people into the business and promoting Mob, I told people that our company goal in total revenue is to get to $20 million by the end of 2013. Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you here. Part of the reason why I picked that number was it just sounded good, right? It sounded good, and it sounded like a big vision to strive for that would get people motivated. Now, did I think it was possible? Yes, I did. But at the same time, I knew that for that to happen, we would have to make some pretty big innovations, and we would have to do something much different to what we'd been doing up until that moment. Because if I was to keep things going the way they were at that time, there's no way we would reach 20 million. So we would have to do some fairly major innovations in the business to suddenly go from 1 million to 20 million in 15 or 16 months. Now, after I got home back to Australia, after doing that event, I really started to think about it. Because now I'd told a whole audience of people that was the goal. So now there was a bit of accountability. And I didn't want to look stupid. I didn't want to tell people, hey, this is what we're going to do, and then fall far short of that. So I really started to break it down. I started to think, okay, what exactly would we need to be doing per day to get to that level? And then I started to think, okay, how many of product A, product B, and product C would we need to sell to reach that target? And I really broke it down. And then I wrote this entire thing out. I had daily targets, and I put the daily target on the side of my computer screen. I put it on the wall next to me. I put it on my iPhone, just all over the place in front of me. I was constantly looking at this daily target. Now, the funny thing is, right now we are in October 2013. We are approaching the end of 2013. And as things stand right now, provided that we really, really push, we will actually reach that target by the end of this year. Now, I tell you that story because I want to tell you the power of having a goal and actually breaking it down into what you need to be doing on a daily basis, and then constantly looking at it every single day. Just the mere act of doing that can just have incredible effects on whatever you're making right now. And I'm fairly certain that had I not done that, had I not chosen that number and then got really serious about doing what I needed to do on a daily basis, we'd still be doing well, but we might have done half of that. Okay, do you see the difference there? When you actually have a goal and you really break it down and it becomes really important to you, then it's almost like, I'm not much of a metaphysical kind of guy, but it's almost like, it's the whole law of attraction. It starts to happen. It just does. You've got to have a target. So this, I just wanted to show you this. This is one of the dashboards I have, and I blurred out the names here on the left. This is from my phone team. Okay, this is from the phone team, and this shows how many license sales they're getting. It shows leads for all time, how many leads they have allocated to them. So you can see this top one has 1,092. That's all time allocated to this one phone rep. This month, not all time, but this month, he's on 24 sales. I can see where he was in previous months. Okay, and then I can see the next rep and the one after and the one after. I can see whether they're above average or they're below average in terms of their conversions. Now, the reason why I show you this is I'm constantly measuring everything to know how far am I away from achieving my daily target. Okay, this is how we stay on track. You need to be measuring yourself in your own business. If your target by the end of this year is $100,000, well, we just worked out that you need to be making, what was it, $275 per day. Okay, and then we worked out per month, what was it, about 8,400 roughly per month. You need to be working out, okay, how far am I away from my target? You constantly need to be looking at these numbers and adjusting if you're falling short. Okay, always be watching that. Now, what this whole business comes down to, this is really what it is. Traffic plus conversions equals sales. Conversions, when you're brand new, don't worry about that. That's why I said drive traffic to someone else's high converting offer. Let them do the conversions. You just focus on traffic and get some sales. And over time, as long as your sales is greater than your ad expenditure, that's it. That's how you're making a profit online. It really is as simple as what I'm showing you right here. You can overcomplicate it as much as you like, but this is really what it all comes down to. Now here's another thing. This is a real pet peeve of mine. I see a lot of people get started in this industry and they become obsessed about the small numbers. Okay, so they become obsessed about opt-in rates or click-through rates or cost per click. They start focusing on all these little numbers. Now, are these numbers important? They are to some regard, but at the end of the day, there's only one single number that actually counts. Does anyone know what that number is? Someone type it in. What is that one number? What's the one thing that counts? Someone typed in dollars, traffic, sales, bill. Bill Rayner gets the answer. Bill Rayner typed in ROI. That's it. ROI. That's all it is. A lot of you typed in sales. It's not sales because remember, sales is just a gross number. Okay? And that can be very misleading. It's ROI. So if you go and spend $1,000 on traffic and you get back $1,500 in revenue, does it really matter what the opt-in rate was? Does it really matter what the click-through rate was on the ad, or the cost per click was, or the cost per lead was? In some respects, yes, the numbers matter because you can improve those things and get a better ROI, but at the end of the day, the one thing I look at is ROI. If you ask me right now, Matt, what is your average open rate of the emails you send out? Or if you send out an email to your entire list, how many clicks do you normally get? I have no idea. Okay, I could guess, but I can't tell you the exact numbers. I can't even tell you the average because I'm not actively looking at that. I don't really actively look at those things because really, I just care about, am I making more money back than I'm spending? That's really what I care about at the end of the day. And some people might say that's very simplistic, and it is, but it's worked pretty well for me up until this point. Okay, so when you go and do traffic, that's really all you care about. If I go and spend $1,000 on a solo ad and I get very few leads, but one of those leads becomes a platinum member in Mobe, I mean, those of you who are in platinum or you're familiar with the business model, you know how much revenue that is. I'm happy. I don't care how many leads I got. You can bet that the very next week I'm going back to that ad source and I'm going to spend more money. And as long as I'm making more back than I spend, I'll keep on going back. A few rookie mistakes I see all the time. So I see people sometimes complain about, oh, you know, I went and got 200 clicks and not a single sale so far. You know, they might complain about it in one of our Facebook groups. And it's just telling because it tells me that they're looking at clicks, they're looking at traffic as being a commodity. When I say a commodity, I mean it's all the same. They're looking at those 200 clicks as being the same as 200 clicks from anywhere. And they're not, because behind each click is a different person. And in aggregate, if you take all the clicks, you can build a profile for who the average person is clicking on your ads. Now, going back to our rose bush example, if you're marketing a product about how to grow better rose bushes, and you go and market that product to let's say you go and market that product to young guys who are looking to get more dates, the kind of guys who buy all of these dating products you see. Doesn't matter how many clicks you get, you're not going to get sales because you're not going after the right audience. Okay, so when you start doing paid traffic, make sure that the people clicking are actually the right audience. The next rookie mistake I see, and this all the time, if you go and build a squeeze page or you go and start writing emails to your list, when we are brand new, there's a tendency for us to really do this a lot, and that's to talk about ourselves. Let's face it, right? Our favorite topic is ourselves. I've told you several stories tonight about, my past 3 or 4 years ago, because I kind of like to talk about myself. You probably do too. We all like to talk about ourselves, and at times we tend to forget that no one else really cares that much about us. Now, when they know us, maybe they do. Maybe you guys got some entertainment value, or you got some value out of me telling you stories about myself. But if you didn't know who I was, and I started telling you stories about myself, chances are you wouldn't care. I see this all the time. I click on people's ads, I go to their websites, and straight away they start telling me their story. How often have you heard that? Everyone says that when they teach marketing. They say, it's all about your story, your story this, your story that. Your story definitely has its place in your marketing, and it definitely can be very valuable. But if you're going to lead with your story, when I say lead with your story, I mean when your prospects come across your marketing for the first time, and it's all about you, you're going to have a hard time getting sales, because they don't care about you. They really don't. They don't even know who you are. To them, your website is a drop in the ocean. That's really all it is. There's billions of websites out there, and they land on yours, and immediately you start talking about yourself. They don't really care about you. So you must always be making it about them. Okay? It must always be about them. Always about them first. So when you're reading your copy, a great way to test whether you're doing this or not, have a look at your copy. Like if you write an email to your list, how many times are you saying I did this, I did that, 5 years ago I was working in a job and I did this and I did that. And then look at how many times you say you, okay? And a way that you can drastically increase your sales and get more results is to consciously go through all your copy and look for all the I's, and then find out how, then turn them into U's. So for example, I might say something like, so before I got into internet marketing, I was working in a corporate job, working 14 hours a day, and I was really frustrated and really just tired at the end of every day, and I decided to go looking for a solution. So I might turn that around, and I might say something like, I don't know how you got to this website or what your background is. Personally, I myself was working in a corporate job 14 hours a day, and I just got really fed up. Maybe you can relate to that. Maybe you're working very long hours too, and that's exactly why you're looking for a solution. And that's what I want to talk to you about today. Alright, do you see how that's just a very subtle shift, but we've focused the attention not just on ourselves, but also on them. That is key in marketing, because again, they don't really care about us. They don't care about you. They don't care about me. What they care about is them. And even after doing this for 5 years, I still do it all the time. I still talk about things from just my point of view first, and I don't always put as much emphasis on them as much as I should. So I consciously have to always be reminding myself, make it about them. Make it about them. What do they want? What do they really want right now? And then I work out, okay, how can I give it to them? Okay, so let's go and buy an ad right now. So here's my challenge to you. Before the end of tonight, before you go to bed tonight, we've got 357 people on this call right now. I'd like to see as many of you buy an ad tonight as possible. Now, who's willing to do that? If I challenge you tonight to go and do a paid ad, Who would be willing to do that tonight before you go to bed? If you honestly are, go ahead and raise your hand. If you're not, that's okay. Don't raise your hand. Don't raise your hand unless you really are willing to go and do this. But if you are willing to do it, and I'm going to show you how, I'm going to walk you through it, who's willing to go and place an ad tonight so you can start getting some sales coming in the next few days? Okay, so we've got about 5% of the audience, 5% of 355. I wish we had a few more, but that's just how it is. That's how it is, guys. In any industry, maybe only 1 out of 20 people are going to go and get the job done. Okay, now the rest usually will watch. Okay, they watch. They sit back and watch. And this webinar is really for those of you, that 5% who will go and do. That's who I'm talking to. And until you're willing to become one of those 5%, there's not a lot that I or anyone can do for you. Okay, but let's go and do it. For those 5%, let's go and buy an ad right now. Okay, so can everyone see my browser? Hopefully you guys can see that. So I'm here. I've been here for 3-4 weeks actually, here in Cabo San Lucas, and I've been working with 3 private clients who invested a lot of money into a program I did, and I've been working with them every day. And one of them is this guy. Okay, this is Junjun Lee. Okay, now Junjun Lee is one of our partners here in MOB. He's a platinum member, and Junjun is the definition of action. I really like working with Junjun because he's one of those maybe 5%, one of those 1 out of 20 people who you show them something and they just go and do it. They go and get it done. So anyway, Junjun is a partner and he is promoting this, the homebusinesssummit.com. Okay, so this is the event we're doing again, November 1st to 3rd. So what date is today? Today is Wednesday the 23rd, at least here in Mexico. So this would be not this weekend, but the next weekend. We're all meeting in San Diego for the Home Business Summit. Now, Junjun is a partner. He's promoting. I'll tell you why he's promoting. I like to reward my partners, and I'm actually offering gold. I'm offering gold American Eagles. They're worth almost $1,400 per coin to anyone who promotes this event, and they only need to bring 8 people to the event, which is pretty cool. Anyway, Junjun is promoting this. So, being the action taker that he is, okay, we talked about a strategy that he could go and implement, and this is in the last few days. This is less than 2 weeks out from the event. Very short notice. Okay, very short notice. And Junjun goes and decides he's going to start promoting and bring in some sales. So what does he do? First of all, he uses leadpages.net to create this page. Now you can see this page. It looks fairly professional, doesn't it? Any one of you could have a page like this in the next 1 hour. Okay, this is a very simple but professional looking opt-in page. Now what's he got? He's got a headline where there's a big benefit because he's doing pay-per-click from Facebook, which I'll walk you through in just a second. They click the ad and then they go to this page. Okay, and the headline says free. If you walk away from this event without knowing exactly what you need to do to make $100,000 in the next 12 months, I will pay for your ticket and your hotel room out of my pocket. And that's the offer. Okay, that's the guarantee. Now, where do you think he got that from? He got that right from the sales letter that I gave him. This is my sales letter that he promotes. Being an action taker, he doesn't waste hours and hours trying to come up with the perfect headline. He just goes and grabs this one and thinks, okay, I'm going to use that same headline. And then he makes a very simple video. This is Junjun. We're here at the resort, Cabo San Lucas. So he sets up a video camera, makes this video. Let me turn it up so you can hear it. Okay, so you can see his professional looking little animation here. You can go to fiverr.com, get something done. Doesn't have to be expensive.
Hey guys, this is Junjun Lee from junjunlee.com. I'm here at this beautiful 5-star resort at Cabo San Lucas.
Alright, so hopefully you could hear that. It's a very simple video. He puts it on YouTube, embeds it on this page, leadpages.net. If you don't know how to do any of that, go to YouTube and type in, how do I embed a YouTube video on my site? You can work that out in 5 minutes. That's what I say. Don't let the small things stop you from taking action. Now they click this button and it says enter your first name and your last name. Okay, so I'm going to just enter any old email address, and I click yes, let's meet up in San Diego, and let's see where this takes us. Very simple, right? Very simple. I thought it was going to take us to another page he'd created, but he just takes us right to the offer, and that's it. Okay, so that's the funnel. Very simple. It's a lead page that goes straight to the offer. And now he's building a list, and now he's going to follow up with me when he sends out the daily broadcast emails, and he's going to promote this event to me in my email inbox. Now, so that's the funnel. Very simple. Now we need to get traffic. So how do we get traffic? Well, I'm actually logged into Junjun's account here. This is Junjun's Facebook account. And in order to get into my ads, I go on here to create ad. Okay, so I go to create ad. I'm going to go back to his page. Okay, so I'm back to his page. I'm going to copy this URL. Okay, I'm going to copy that. Now Facebook is saying, well, where do you want to send the traffic to? So I'm going to tell Facebook I want to send it to this URL. Okay, right there. And it's saying, okay, well, what image do you want to use? Now you can upload an image. Junjun has just taken this image right here. Where do you think he got that from? Got it from the site. He went to the website, you right click and you click on Save Image As. You save it onto your desktop. Go here and you simply upload the image from your desktop. There you go, there's the image. Okay, now that's what he's done. Okay, so there's his image. Now we've got to write the ad. Okay, now to write the ad, we've got a headline. Headline goes here. And then we have text, come to the Home Business Summit. The worst ad you could ever do, but I'm just showing you what this would look like. Advanced options. Now I've got to be honest with you, it's been a little while since I've logged in and done a Facebook pay-per-click ad, so I'm just learning this as I go. You can do the exact same. Now, do we want to be targeting people all around the world? Let's think about it. If we're marketing an event in San Diego, do you think that people are going to get on a plane and fly halfway around the world to attend this event? Yes, they are. Some people are, and I used to do that all the time myself. But most people, no. You know, as we saw from that little exercise we just did, 1 out of 20 might, because you've always got that 5% of people who are serious, who are going to do whatever they need to do, but most people aren't. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to, given the short notice of this promotion, as a marketer, Junjun's best bet is to market to people in the local area. So let's choose United States, but let's get a little bit more specific. Let's go California, okay, which is where San Diego is. We've gone from 178 million people down to 22 million people. Now that's not very specific. Let's get a little bit more specific. Let's go San Diego. Okay, San Diego. Now that's still over 1 million people. I want to get that down to maybe 10,000 people. Age, I don't want 13-year-olds coming because chances are they're not going to, they're not going to come. I'm going to market to, I could go 18 years and older, but I might just go, you know, having been to past MOVE events, we have people from all ages, but the average age is usually people a little bit older than Junjun or myself. Usually it's people around their kind of more middle years. So I'm going to go maybe 35. And again, this is just a personal thing. I could really do any age. 35 to 64, and now we're down to 500,000. Great. Okay, now let's actually market to people who have some specific interest in internet marketing. Well, how do we know they have interest in internet marketing? What if we were to target all of the gurus in internet marketing? So we targeted people in San Diego between the ages of 35 and 64 who are fans of all the internet marketing gurus. If they are fans of the gurus, well, they're obviously in the industry, right? Otherwise, they wouldn't have heard of the gurus in the first place. So why don't I type in some gurus I know just off the top of my head? My friend Jonathan Budd, let's target Jonathan. Where is Jonathan? Try that, Jonathan Bard. Okay, there's 380 people in San Diego, which is actually where Jonathan lives, from 35 to 64. That's not enough. Eric Worry, another guy, no, good guy. Let's target Eric's. Okay, now we're up to 400. Who else do we have? Let me think. Who's Guru? What about someone like Dave Wood? David Wood. Is anywhere there? Or let's try David Wood. Any kind of guru we know. All right, there's a few more, and so on and so forth. I would keep on going until I get that to maybe 5,000, 10,000. Now, I'm going to put all the internet marketing gurus in this ad. Then I might go and create another ad where I target all the main internet marketing systems, like My Online Business Empire, My Lead System Pro, Empower Network, all of them, as many as I can name. Now, if you don't know who all the gurus are or all the systems are, I mean, if you've been in the industry, it's pretty simple to work out who they are. You can also go and check your email inbox. Chances are you're getting emails from a lot of different marketers. Try targeting their names. Okay. Now, men, women. I'm just going to leave that all where it is. And then what I would do. How much do I want to spend per day? Well, since I can get paid in gold coins and I can make a lot of money promoting this, I'm not going to stuff around with $5 or $10 per day. Some people do, but I think they're just kind of dipping their toe in the water. I'm going to get a little bit more serious about this. I'm going to put a little bit more money on the line. Okay, now let's say that I was getting started. I might, if I was brand new to internet marketing, I might do 25 a day. I actually remember in very early 2009 doing my first Google AdWords campaign, and I decided I'm serious and I'm going to do $50 per day. Well, $50 today is nothing, but back then that was real money. So if I was starting over again, I might choose somewhere around that level. Okay. Now Facebook is saying to me, well, how much do you want to pay per click? We suggest you pay from 53 cents to 88 cents. Well, I might just choose somewhere around the middle. I might just choose 70 cents. I'm not going to get too hung up on, scientifically working out what that exact amount is. I just want to get this ad going. So I click on place order. Okay. I don't want to do that, whatever that is. And Junjun, by the way, if you're watching this, I might have just disabled an ad, so just come and check this. Place order. Done. Okay, now was that hard? I'm going to put everyone's hands down. We have 347 people on the line. We've lost a few. Okay, which is interesting, isn't it? But out of all of you people on the line right now, 347, who feels like they could go and do that? What I just showed you. Who feels like they could go and do that? Who feels like they could go and place their first Facebook pay-per-click ad right now? And if you don't, tell me why. Okay, now some of you already have done it. Laura Dawson said, been there, done that. Elias said, me, that was easy. Becky said, I can do that. Peggy, I can now. All right, so, okay. Ronnie said, too fast. Ronnie, just go and do it yourself. Go and try and do it yourself. Go to Facebook, click on create an ad. Facebook actually walks you through how to do it. And the fastest way you're going to learn is just to try and do it. Okay, just try and do it. Okay. All right. Now, a lot of you are saying, good, good, good. Okay, yes, you can all do it. Perfect. Okay, and a lot of you raised your hands. Not all of you, but some. Most of you. Good. Okay, so there you go. There's your first paid traffic. Now, Facebook is going to look at our ad and they're going to decide whether they want to approve it. So if we scroll down here, here's our ad. It's a very terrible ad, isn't it? It says headline goes here, come to the Home Business Summit. Now it's in the pending review status. So someone at Facebook is going to review the ad and approve it. It's a lousy ad, so who knows whether they would approve that or not. I'm going to turn that ad off because obviously I don't want to start charging Junjun any money right now. But but that's very simple to do. Now let's actually go and have a look at some of his other ads so you can see the results. Okay, so we go into all campaigns. Now today he spent $23.62. So notice how you have full control over what you're spending. You don't have to worry about this getting out of control because you have complete control over how much you want to spend. Junjun's willing to spend here $100 a day because he's serious. On this ad, $50 per day. Status says these ads are active. Okay, they're active. Okay, now this ad here says daily he's spending $30 a day, and today he's got left $6.14. Okay, that's because Facebook has been showing the ad. Every time someone clicks, he gets charged. Now he's got 73 clicks so far. He's spent $53.86. Let's have a look. Okay, so we can see all the stats here. Now, let's actually go into this. Here's his ad. The Home Business Summit. Learning exactly how to make $100,000 in the next 12 months in this workshop. So the ad's not brilliant. And Junjun, if you're watching this, that should say learn exactly how to make $100,000. Okay, not learning. But that's my whole point. Junjun is the kind of guy where he would just go and take action. He doesn't worry too much about spelling and things like that. He goes and takes action, and guess what? In his first 12 months online, he's somewhere around $110,000 in commissions. Okay? About 3 days ago, he told me that he's officially been online now for 12 months, and it's over $100,000 in commissions. That's what it is. It's simply taking action. You now know how to do paid traffic, so just go and do some paid traffic. You've got to get this moving. Okay, but he has full control. Now, let's say that we go to the Home Business Summit, not this weekend, but the next weekend, and he wants to stop his ads. He pauses them. That's it. You pause them or you delete them. You have full control over this. But that's it. Okay, so now you all know. Now you all know how to go and do it. So that's my challenge to you. Before you go to sleep tonight, take 5 minutes. Go and do an ad. Even if it's not a very good ad, just go and do it. And when you wake up in the morning, it might be approved, it might not. Maybe it takes 12, 18 hours, something like that. But at least you'll be doing something. And if you're doing something, you're the 1 out of 20 who actually goes and does. Most people just watch on the sidelines. But if you go and do something, you're an action taker. Now, a few other things that I want to talk about tonight before we wrap this up, and we'll wrap this up in about 10-15 minutes. I love this. I'm a big fan of Dan Kennedy. I learned a lot from him. This is one thing that I heard him say on a product, and he says it all the time. Be the wizard and beware of the wizard. We are essentially, in this business, marketing and selling our information products. We market ourselves as the wizard, or we market someone else as the wizard, someone who's got the answers. So if you market Mobe, in a way you're marketing, me as the wizard. Or if you go and market some other system that someone's created, you market them as the wizard. Or if you're branding yourself and you're doing your own lead capture pages and so on, you're the wizard. You're the person with the answers. And that's who you want to be. Okay, because that is what the market wants. At the end of the day, people want to transfer their responsibility onto someone else, and they want to believe that there are people out there who have all the answers. And there are. But at the same time, there's a lot of phonies or people who fall very short. So it's this whole idea of you be the wizard and be a good wizard, but also beware of all the other people out there who are positioning themselves as the wizard. Some of them are good, but some of them aren't. What this essentially means is there's a lot of people selling marketing products out there, and a lot of those products are good, but at the same time a lot of them are going to lead you down a path away from where you really need to be. And the whole point of this slide is I just wanted to tell you that if you really want to learn marketing, my advice to you is Study what other marketers, successful marketers, are actually doing. It's not always what they're teaching. Now, most people in marketing, most of the people I know, they have very good intentions, of course. They do have good intentions. But at the same time, what they do and what they actually teach sometimes aren't exactly the same. So you should look at what they do. Even with me. Now, I would like to think that what I teach actually works and it's good. But if you want to get similar results to me, or you want to start going in that direction, look at how I market. Look at what I do. Okay, look at what I do and start to ask yourself, how can I do the same? Okay, so I just wanted to add that. Now, the last thing I want to talk about, well, actually two things, before I tell you a little bit more about the Home Business Summit and why you need to be there. This strategy alone, this is how you can get launched and become almost famous in your niche overnight. If I had to start all over again, okay, let's say I could get in a time machine and I could travel back to January of 2009, back to the old version of myself, however old I was then, 22 or whatever it was. I'm just picturing it now. I would walk into my bedroom, because that's where I used to work out of, my bedroom, and I would see the old version of myself slaving away in front of that computer, having no idea what he was doing. And the advice that I would give him would be, find a guru, find someone with influence in this niche, and go and get them some results. Go and make them money and get their attention. Become their star student. Because when you do that, they will tell others about you. They will tell their entire following. Did you see what just happened just right now? 2 minutes ago. What just happened? I told you about a guy called Junjun Lee. Now, 342 people in this industry now know who Junjun is, and they now know he's made over $100,000 in his first year online. Do you think that's valuable? Would you like me to do that for you? Or would you like some other marketing trainer you know who's got a bit of influence in this niche? Would you like them to tell the industry about your name? Would you like that to happen? Well, it's very, very easy to do. Okay? A lot of people think it's hard. It's hard to get the attention of the guru or the marketing trainer. It's actually very easy. You go and get them results. Okay, so Junjun became a partner in Mobe, and he went and got commissions. He used our systems, he actually took action, and he got results. So now I tell people about him. In fact, he's one of the speakers at the Home Business Summit. He's one of the speakers. And in fact, just about every single speaker at the Home Business Summit is a partner in Mobe who's doing very well. Now, I wouldn't have known any of them because I have over 200,000 people on our Mobe list. So it's not like I know everyone on a name-to-name basis, but I certainly do know the people who are getting results, because not only are they making themselves money, I'm also getting some money out of it too. And that definitely gets my attention. Okay, so if you want to get the attention of someone with influence, become their star student. Buy their course, implement their course, get incredible results with their course, and then go and tell them and say, hey, look, here's the results I got. Or join their marketing system and go and get them some results. And I promise you, you will get their attention if you start bringing in some sales. And I just showed you how to bring in sales. Go and do some paid traffic. But this is kind of what happened to me in late 2010. At the time, I had made less than $50,000 all up online, somewhere around that, in several years. And there was a guy called Jonathan Budd. Now, Jonathan was where, back then, he was in the same position that I would have been in maybe 6 or 8 months ago. You know, he was doing hundreds of thousands of dollars per month. He was 27 or something at the time, and I was maybe 26 at the time, and actually maybe 25. I was a few years younger, and I was very new. I didn't really have any credibility behind my name. But what do you think I did? I promoted some of his launches, and I made the top 10. I remember waking up one morning when I was promoting that first launch he did, or the first one I promoted, and I see this email from Jonathan Budd, who at the time was the big guru, the big fancy guru. And I see an email and I think, oh great, it's an autoresponder message. But then I click on the email and I see it's actually a personal email. And at the time I'm a little bit awestruck because I used to put the gurus up on a pedestal, and now I have a slightly different view. They're just really normal people. But anyway, I couldn't believe it. I thought, why is he messaging me? I mean, he's got thousands of affiliates. Why me? And it turns out that I was actually in the top 10 affiliates, which totally shocked me because I thought, how is that even possible? Most people seriously overestimate how many sales they need to get for the guru to get their attention. It's actually not that many at all. I mean, if you've got sales in Moab, chances are I've seen your name. Okay, I have a rough idea of who you are, and if you've got a lot of sales, then I definitely know who you are. But anyway, now I had his attention. We started emailing each other back and forth. I promote the next launch, then I go from 10th to 6th, and then the last big launch I promoted of his, and this was really before I started scaling up Moab and doing my own thing, actually came second. Okay, now when that happens, then what do you think he did? Now he had a star student. Okay, at the time I was a student, and he goes and tells his list, which is well over 100,000 people at the time. Okay, and then that eventually leads into a promotion, then him promoting my products to his own list. Now that really did help give me a bit of a kickstart. Okay, a little bit of momentum in the beginning. It did help. Could I have done it without the help? Sure, but did it save me 6 months or maybe a year? Very likely, yes. And I'm telling you that if you want to speed this up and you want to be launched into the industry, easiest and fastest way, just go and become someone's star student. Okay, get results, and they will happily launch you because you're helping them build their business by being a great testimonial. Now, get to live event. Why? This is the last thing I want to leave you with. So I keep on going back to that first year online because I'm conscious that a lot of you are where I was at that stage. You've just started getting your first few sales coming in, or you're starting, or you haven't yet done it. 1 second, guys. Sorry about that. Don't know who that was. I was saying a lot of you are kind of where I was at that point. You're getting to that level. Okay, you're just starting to get some sales coming in right now. When that was happening for me, around the end of, this would have been around the end of 2010. Damn it, let me. Sorry about that. Don't know who's trying to call me. When I was building the business, I started thinking about going to live events. Okay, and there was an event in Las Vegas. This event was in Las Vegas, and it was 2 weeks away, and I was in Perth, Australia. That is over 35 hours to fly to this live event. 2 weeks notice, several $1,000s in flights. Okay, and I had this crazy idea that I would go to this event because I thought to myself, well look, if I go to this event, I know that all the gurus are going to be there, and if I can just get my photo next to these gurus, and then I can go and use that in my marketing, that to me would be worth it. That would be worth it. That's how I thought. Okay, at that time, that's how I was thinking. And it was true because it was worth it. But I decided, okay, I want to go. So I called my business partner. At the time, I was a partner with this lady who was in Sydney, Australia. And I tell her about it, and she gets very excited about it. And so am I. And we're talking about going to Las Vegas in 2 weeks. A couple days later, she pulls out. Okay, she backs out. And to this day, we kind of lost contact, and she's still really struggling financially to this very day. But I decided to go. So I booked my plane ticket. I didn't have a lot of money at the time. In fact, I had maybe $700 in my bank account after paying for flights. But I remember flying to Las Vegas, first time I'd ever even been to America. and I arrive at, this was at the Palms, okay, the Palms Casino. I arrive at this casino, and I have to pay for my rooms, and I booked my room, and they have to authorize like 4 nights on my credit card, and it declines. And I start to panic a bit. I think, why? There should be money there. And they say, well, it's declining. So I say, well, is there a computer I can log on to my online banking and find out what's going on? And I go upstairs, I get on this computer, and I find out that someone's billed my credit card for some monthly subscription, something. And, I barely had the money to pay for the hotel. But I call my mother, and she helped me out. Now, I tell you that story because I realize there's some of you right now who maybe don't go to live events because you think, well, it's too expensive, or it's too far to travel. I tell you that story because at the time, even though I wasn't getting results, I knew that if I wanted the results in this industry that maybe 1 out of 1,000 people will ever achieve, I had to be willing to do what 999 people out of 1,000 would not. And that was get on a plane, fly 35 hours to the other side of the planet to attend a 2-day live event, even when I don't have a lot of money in my bank account. And I did that. Okay, I did that. When you do things like that, it's almost like you're announcing to the universe your level of commitment for your business. You're willing to do that. Most people are not. Now, isn't it interesting what then happened, where we are right now today with Mobe? It's interesting, isn't it? Mobe has been a very successful online marketing company. It's very successful in this niche. It's one of the bigger companies in this niche. But it all started out where every single one of you is right now. Just an idea, and it was simply the level of commitment, desire, determination that brought it to where it is today. You can do the same thing. 2 years from now, who knows where you can be? Okay, and I'm not just saying this for some motivation or anything like that. I really mean it. 1 year from now, 2 years from now, your life can be completely transformed. You can be doing ridiculous numbers in your online business that you possibly can't even imagine right now. It's entirely possible, but it really comes down to your level of commitment. And I'm telling you that getting to live events is one of the best things that you could ever do. A few reasons. Number one, when you go to a live event, try and come away from that live event with just one connection that you can do business with. That's my goal when I go to a live event. I just want to meet one person that I can go and do some business with later on. So that was my goal when I went to that Las Vegas, because I'm not a very social guy at all. I always found it kind of hard to go and meet 10 different people at a live event, but I knew I could meet at least one person. So I'll give you an example. I went to a live event 2012 in San Diego, and I meet this guy called John Chow. And I'd heard of John Chow because he's got a blog that's fairly well known in the make money online space. I meet John for the first time, and I get his email address. A week later, I tell him about this contest I'm doing for our partners and say, hey John, do you want to promote? I didn't really expect him to because he's got his own business. Okay, so I flat out expected him to say no. But he actually said yes. He promoted and he won the $10,000 first prize. Today, he's one of our bigger affiliates. He is closing in on somewhere over $300,000 in commissions. He is currently doing over $100,000 per month in Mobe in commissions clearing in his pocket. That all came from a live event. Now he's making a lot of money. I'm also making money out of it too because I get a small percentage. That came from one live event. Now that live event was about $2,500 for 2 days. Do you think I'm glad I went to that live event for that one connection? Absolutely. John's actually one of the speakers at the Home Business Summit. Another guy I met, Vince Reed. I met Vince at one of Jonathan Budd's events in late 2010. We were at the VIP party. Saw Vince in a corner, kind of on his own. I didn't really know anyone at the time, because this was like a VIP party for the gurus when I was just starting to get some results. I didn't know any of them. And I saw this one guy and I kind of go and meet him, and we'd have a beer together, and it was Vince Reed. And we ended up becoming pretty good friends, and now we've done quite a bit of business together. Vince is actually one of the speakers at the Home Business Summit as well. Runs a multiple seven-figure business. Cesar Rodriguez, I met him at the No Excuses event in Las Vegas a few months ago. Cesar, that one connection probably saved me over $100,000. We had a very important CRM account shut down maybe about half a year ago, which really threatened my entire business. And Caesar happened to know the CEO of that CRM, and took 20 or 30 minutes of his time more to sit down and make a personal video message to send to that CEO to try and save my account. And as a thank you, I actually invited Caesar to come to the Titanium Mastermind, all expenses paid. He was here a few weeks ago. That was a connection from a live event. Junjun Lee came to our second event at the Nitrous last year. He'd never been exposed to internet marketing before. That event changed his life, and to date he's made over $100,000 in commissions in his first year online. That is the power of getting to live events. One single connection makes the investment just such an incredible investment. Now, the investment for the Home Business Summit, you know what it is? It's $97. $97. That's it, which is almost ridiculous. And really, we should put up the price, because it gives the wrong perception of the value of that event. That entire event is about giving you a clear plan, where you walk away with a clear plan to make $100,000 over the next 12 months. So when we say that it's $97 per ticket, it kind of doesn't really live up to the value we promise. But believe me, it is very valuable, and that's all it is, $97. Okay? Now I want to do something a little bit special. I want to do a deal with you tonight where if you decide to come to the Home Business Summit, I'm well aware that this is not going to be for everyone. This is really for the 5% of you, maybe one person out of 20. We've got 320 people on the line. Okay, 320 people stuck it out. But out of the 320 people on the line, maybe this is right for 40 of you. Okay? But if you decide to get to the Home Business Summit, I'm going to allow you, if you take action tonight, to bring an extra person completely for free. Now, why would you want to do that? Well, you guys know how it is. If you're in a relationship, you know how when you have a spouse who isn't supportive of your business, it can really make things hard. So for those of you in that situation, bring your spouse. If you don't have a spouse, bring a friend or someone who's thinking about getting into internet marketing. Okay? Why would you want to do that? Well, if you're a Mob partner, at this event, it's going to be about 95% content. But yes, I will show you, if you want to take things further, a few programs that you can look at investing in. Now, if you bring a friend and they invest in some of these programs, you can actually get paid some fairly big commissions. Okay, so that's why you would want to bring a second person. But let me tell you about this event. It's November 1st to 3rd. Again, November 1st is a Friday. You arrive at the Hyatt Mission Bay in San Diego, and I'll show you that in just a moment. Arrive on Friday afternoon. We officially have the welcome reception that Friday night at around 7 p.m. Okay? So there's no content during the day. So if you have a job or you have something on during Friday, that's okay. Just straight after, come in, fly into San Diego. It's really not that far from the airport at all, the hotel I'm talking about. Come to the reception, meet myself, meet all the speakers, meet the other attendees. You will find that the Mob community is among the friendliest, most supportive community out of any online community you can find. I mean, we've got some really good people, and we're very lucky. But meet the people. Now, the next day, November the 2nd, okay, which is a Saturday, we start that morning around 8:30 a.m. All day long to 6:30, we're going to dive right in to this plan of exactly what you need to do to go and make $100,000 in the next 12 months with your online business. And we're going to continue that. We have a special VIP party that night where dinner is paid for, and I'll tell you more about that at the event. And then on Sunday, November the 3rd, we go all day, okay? And at the end of the day, then you go home and you implement exactly what you've learned and you start getting results. That's exactly what this whole thing is about. Now, I want to mention, this is not a pitch fest. It's not one of those events where they have 20 different speakers who speak for an hour and they all pitch you different courses, about real estate, stocks, whatever. It's nothing like that at all. It's really just about people who are getting results, sharing exactly what they're doing. Very few of the speakers we have coming are gurus. Most of them are just everyday people who I've seen just rising up through the ranks. People like Junjun. I'll tell you about the rest of the speakers in just a second. So you wouldn't have heard of a lot of these people. They're not the kind of people who go around speaking on stage at all the events, because we'd rather get people who are doing, not just teaching, but people who are actually doing. Okay. So none of the other speakers will be selling anything. They're sharing insider secrets on what is working right now. Okay, so if you want to know what's Junjun doing to get $100,000 in his first year online, he's going to tell you. Where and when is it? So like I said, it's a 2-day event, so it's officially from the 2nd to the 3rd, but get in on the 1st, which is a Friday, so you can come to the Friday night reception. It's at the Hyatt Mission Valley, a really nice hotel, very close to the airport as well. Okay, so you'll be staying there. You can just book your room online. They're very cheap. It's not expensive at all, but they're very nice rooms. You can make this a bit of a holiday too. Okay, so you can be relaxing around the pool, take some time off, and then during the Saturday and Sunday, we'll get to work and we'll give you this plan. But that's really what it's about. You'll plan to get to 100K in the next 12 months, and I'm going to go out of my way to make sure that you don't leave this event with any confusion or wondering about what you need to do next or any self-doubt. You go home, and as soon as you get back in that chair where you're sitting right now, likely you're at home, you have the plan in front of you. And you know, okay, here's exactly what I need to go and do right now to start bringing in these sales. Okay? Now here's the guarantee. And I always like to give really good guarantees because I know that our events, when people come to our events, things change. Things change for them, and they go home and they actually get results. So here's my promise. If after this entire event you feel like you don't have that plan, you don't know exactly what you need to go and do when you get home to make 100K over the next 12 months, then you can either come and see me or come and tell my staff at the back of the room. Come and tell us that, and we're not going to make a big deal about it. We'll say, okay, that's perfectly fine. Not only will we refund your ticket, okay, but we will also reimburse you for the entire cost of your hotel stay. How's that sound? So that's pretty good, right? We will take care of your room. If you don't feel like you actually have this plan in front of you when you get home, and you know exactly what you need to do to go and make 100K in the next 12 months. So that's the guarantee. And that way, I want you to know that if you come to this, if you go to the hassles of booking a flight right after this call, booking the room, the hotel room, and getting to the event, I want you to know that you're covered. Okay, there's no real downside to this, because if it doesn't work out, which it will, if it doesn't, we'll take care of all your costs for you at the hotel anyway. Okay, but that's how sure I am that you're going to absolutely love this event. Now, speakers, who are you going to learn from? So, John Chow. John has a 7-figure business, and he's doing over $100,000 per year in Mob. He's doing very well. He's going to be sharing exactly what he's doing. Now, not only do you get to, sit in the audience and learn from the speakers, but during the reception, during the Saturday night VIP party, all of the speakers I'm about to show you, they're incredibly approachable. You can go up to them and you can find out, you can just ask them freely, hey, look, what are you doing? How are you getting these results? So John will be sharing exactly what he's doing. Mike Morin. Mike is one of my favorite Mob partners right now, because Mike, he came to one of our events which one was it? It was, I believe it was the Home Business Summit. Yeah, it was the Home Business Summit in Long Beach earlier this year. He got involved in Mobe. To date, he's somewhere around 35,000 or 40,000 in commissions. Now, might even be more. It's not an incredible amount, but still, it's fairly decent, right? It's fairly decent for someone who, and he told me he hadn't really had a whole lot of results in the years leading up to this, but he got involved, implemented what we showed him, and he started getting results. And then he came to our next few events. He was called up on stage to get some big checks, and now I've invited him to come and speak. This is what I mean. When you do well, when you go and make sales, you're going to get all of these kinds of opportunities put in front of you. Terry Lamb came into Mobe, and in his first month did something like 52 license sales, something like $52,000 in commissions. The guy is a machine, and he's also very direct, and he just tells you, look, here's exactly what you need to go and do to get results. He's not about flash or anything like that. He's just very straight to the point. Here's what you need to do to go and get results. So definitely, if you get a chance when you come to the event, go and talk to Terry, single him out, buy him a beer and say, Terry, what are you doing? Tell me exactly what you're doing, and he will. He's got no problem. All of these speakers, in fact, they're very open because they don't have any reason to want to keep secrets. Junjun Lee, you already heard about. Junjun's a young guy. He's 25 or 26. He's the definition of just raw, massive action. He just goes and takes action. When you hear him speak, you'll straight away, you'll think, hey, this guy didn't necessarily know a whole lot more than I do right now. He just went and took action. And I always ask Junjun to come and speak because that's just inspiring. That someone could come into the industry, know nothing, 100K in their first year. Carolina Millen, coming all the way from Chile. Carolina, I remember personally bringing Carolina into Mobe myself on the phone years ago. To date, she has had several $8,000 days in Mobe. She got a free Mercedes Benz. If you start doing well in Mobe, you get a free Merc. Okay, I actually buy you a Mercedes. So she's coming all the way from Chile to share exactly what she's doing. Cesar Rodriguez. Cesar, very well-known sales trainer in the home business industry. This is his first time at a Mobe event. But I really like the guy. He's a very good guy, and he's also really knows his stuff. Okay, he knows how to build teams. He knows how to bring in sales. He's incredible at closing. Okay, and he's also going to be talking to you more about getting your head right when you go into business, because, like I said tonight, it's a very important part of the entire thing. But all of these speakers, the main topic they'll be sharing is really, what is the plan for you to make $100,000 online in the next 12 months as soon as you get back home from attending this event? That's really what it's about. So if you want to get your tickets, here's what you need to do. Go to thehomebusinesssummit.com. You can go there now and just read about the event. Somewhere down the bottom, you will see a link to get your tickets. And then what you need to do, send me a message on Facebook. Okay, find me on Facebook. Just search for Matt Lloyd and you'll see my picture. And tell me who your friend is that you're bringing. Okay, so get your ticket now. This is just for those of you on the call tonight who can bring two people for the price of one. Just tell me, send me a message and say, Matt, I was on your webinar. I'm coming to the Home Business Summit. I'm serious about this. I want to know exactly what I need to do to get to $100,000 in the next 12 months. And this is the person I would like to bring. And just give me their details and I'll get that to our event planners. Then you just show up and two for the price of one. Okay, you get to bring two people. So I want to take a few questions now because I can see they've been building up a lot, in fact. Let's see. Okay, let me just make this a bit bigger. 1 second. Okay, so if you have any questions, go ahead and type them in. But otherwise, that's what you need to do. Go to thehomebusinesssummit.com. Details there. You can go and read about it and just learn anything else I missed out tonight and get started. And again, I do realize, look, this is last minute, isn't it? This is only a week and a half out from the live event. But it's in these kind of moments where your commitment level is really tested. I told you that story of me in 2010, 2 weeks out from an event in Las Vegas, several $1,000s on a plane ticket with barely enough money to actually pay for the hotel. But I did it because I knew that most people wouldn't be willing to do that, and I was that serious about my business that I was willing to do that. That's what's really required if you want to do well in this niche, that level of commitment. All right, so let me read some of these questions out. Once you get the event, how did you get the money to... Okay, so a question here from Cheryl. Once you got to that event in Vegas and borrowed the money for your room, how did you get the money to get into the business past that? Quite easy. So I got home, I started implementing some of the things I learned from the event. I decided to promote a launch, which was that launch I promoted for Jonathan Budd at the time. I made $7,200 that week from the week that his launch product went on sales. I got connected to a multi-millionaire in the industry. That relationship over time led into some massive joint venture promotions. So it just really all just came from there. But you can always find the money. You can always find the money, no matter what kind of financial circumstances I've been in. You always find the money when you really want to find it. Okay. So Trisha typed in, I'm a single mom, 2 kids with disabilities. I need to do this. I'm a CPA but can't work like that. I'm not sure what you mean. If you're talking about the hours, the kind of hours that I put in, of course, most people wouldn't want to put in the kind of hours I do. But at the same time, most people don't want to build a business the size of Mo. Most of you on this call, I'd imagine, you would be happy with $50,000 a month. $100,000 a month would be spectacular. You know, if I offered that to you, most of you, you'd probably be okay with that. If you're willing to, or if you're wanting to take it to the next level where you're doing millions or tens of millions of dollars per month, then yeah, you are going to have to work the kind of hours I work. But that's just a personal choice. Okay. Oh, this is a great one. This is a comment, and I won't even name the person who said this. The comment is, I'd love to come, but I live in Chicago. It's very interesting, isn't it? It's very, very interesting. My response to that is, yes, you live in Chicago. I lived in Perth, Australia, and I went to an event in Las Vegas. My response to that, to you saying you live in Chicago and therefore that's makes it hard for you to come, is really, what's your level of commitment? If you're not making any money online right now, or very little, and you've just told me you need this to work, and I tell you that I have a plan where I can help you get to $100,000 per year, and you know that I'm telling you that from experience because we do more than that in 3 days. Okay, so I know that from experience. I'm not making that up. But if I tell you that I can show you how to do that in person, and the thing stopping you is a flight ticket of a few $100s, I'm sorry, but I've really got to question your commitment on that. That's just my response to that. Renee, I already got my VIP ticket. Excellent, Renee. Looking forward to seeing you. James Cummings, I've already got my ticket. Excellent. Clinton, I already got my ticket. Perfect. Taiwo, I am in Ireland and will need to get a visa to attend. Well, if you're willing to do that, I applaud you. I applaud you. If you're not even in the same country, if you're not in the United States and you're willing to come, that's what I'm talking about. That's the level of commitment that I love to see. Okay, what time does the event end on the 3rd? A question here from Emmanuel. It's going to end around 5 p.m. Okay, around 5 p.m. So shortly after that, most people usually will check out on the Saturday, right? And then let me back up. Most people will check out on the Sunday morning, and they'll usually put their suitcase up in the event room. They then event all the training for the Sunday, then they usually get on a plane, go home. If they have a job, they're back to work on Monday, except now they have a plan to get out of the job. So usually around 5 p.m. on Sunday. Okay. I'm just looking for direction. I can be huge in this. I know it. I just need the right help and direction. So Trisha, come to the event then. That's really what it's all about. Giving you direction, giving you a plan where you get home and you now know, okay, here's exactly what I need to be doing now to bring in those sales. Can I bring someone else with me, James? Yes, you can. Definitely you can. So get your ticket now. Find me on Facebook and then bring that second person. Look, and if you don't find me on Facebook, just show up with the second person and tell me that you were on this webinar, and therefore, as part of this deal, you get to bring 2 for 1. All right, let me see. What else? Bill, you've said you're asking me a question that's not really all that relevant. You're saying I've got leads. How long till the phone team follows up? We don't follow up with opt-ins, okay? Because an opt-in is an email lead. We don't have a phone number to follow up with. We follow up with buyers because they have a phone number. Becky, I'm already registered. Really looking forward to it. Excellent, Becky. I'll see you there. Okay. Hope I'm getting the name right here. Joey, I think it is Joey. Joie. Joey, or Joy. You said you're trying to book your room, but you had no checkout date for Monday. I'm not sure what you mean then. Just check out on Sunday if you need to, and then just keep your bags in the room, and then just leave after that. Emmanuel, you're coming from the East Coast, it looks like. Excellent. Do you have to be a licensee to participate at the summit? Question from Valerie. Good question. No, you don't. Absolutely not. You absolutely don't. Whatever you are, even if you've never got a Mob product before, you don't have to be in Mob at all. Okay, this is really for everyone who's getting started online, or for everyone who, after a long period online, they're still not getting results. Clinton, you said you already got 2 tickets. Can we work anything out on maybe me bringing 2 more people? Absolutely. Bring 2 more people. That's fine. So if you've got 2 tickets, as part of this deal, bring 2 more people. Are you going to do a summit in Australia? From Shane. Shane, possibly, yeah, next year. We're looking at doing that. We've certainly got the numbers in Australia now, so possibly next year, but it will be very different. Okay, it would be very different speakers. So if you can, I know it's a long trip from Australia, but we've got a couple people coming from Australia. If you can, try and get to this one. Okay, just a couple more questions and then we will finish this up. Gary's asking, Matt, if I buy a ticket, do I get the free ticket for that second person, or do we both get a paid and bring a person with a free ticket? So Gary, just buy a ticket now. Go to thehomebusinesssummit.com and then just bring your second person. Okay. Now, if your second person buys a ticket, then you can both bring a free person too. All right, just a couple more. Then I've also got to go and get some dinner. Let me have a look. What else? Someone's saying, I just made over 20 sales in 30 days with no budget. Can I share this story on stage? Find me on Facebook. I mean, if you're in Mob and you did that, you got 20 sales in the last 30 days with no budget, absolutely. I'd love to hear that story. Nelson's coming. He says, my first live event. Looking forward to meeting everyone. Excellent. No, guys, we don't have a live streaming option either. What about people going for the second time? Do you think it's recommended? Absolutely. No 2 home business summits are ever the same. They're always going to be different. Okay, they're always going to be different. Different speakers, different content. Will always be different. I'm staying at the hotel. Okay, good question here. If I live in San Diego, can I come? Because I won't be staying at the hotel. I'll be driving all 3 days. Is this okay? Absolutely. So that's a question from Cheryl. Absolutely, Cheryl. You can come and just drive in every day. You don't need to stay at the hotel, but it would be best if you can, especially Saturday night. Then you can come to the VIP party and stay a little bit later because they usually go pretty late. Danny is asking how much exposure is needed monthly clicks to really make 10K plus a month. Totally depends on the clicks, where they're coming from. Totally depends on the audience, the offer. We'll be breaking down the numbers though at the live event, but it's a little bit hard for me to answer that just right here in the short time we have. Okay. Wow, lots of questions. Okay, so guys, I don't know if I'm going to have all time to answer every single one. What about Canada? Will you be doing these home business summits all around? No plans to do so just yet, but in the future, sure. Okay, so that looks like it's about it. Guys. So I want to thank you for sticking on until the end. I do hope you got some value out of this, and I really would like to meet you at the Home Business Summit. So try and get to this event. Don't actually scratch that. I don't like that word try. Just get to this event. Okay, get to this event. Come for the full 2 days. Walk away from the event with a plan, step by step, exactly what you need to do to go and start making $100,000 per year online. Get your online business kick-started, and you'll look back on this in a few months and you'll think, I'm really, really glad I got to that live event. I attended that webinar. It was spur of the moment. I had maybe 10 days to go to organize flights and everything, but I did it. I got to the event. And I got one connection from that event that led to, doing this joint venture, or just gave me this one epiphany that allowed me to get past the one thing limiting me in my business, whatever it is. Okay, but if you get just one great idea from this event that allows you to go and get sales that you wouldn't have had, it's worth it. It's absolutely worth it. It's always worth getting to live events. I mean, it just always is, especially this one where we are giving you the plan. Okay, so guys, I think that's about it. Again, thank you very much. I appreciate you all. Hope you got value, and I will see a lot of you in about 8 days in San Diego. Come and see me on Friday night, and we'll have a beer together and we'll have a chat. All right, guys, thanks a lot, and we'll talk soon.